whenever you are interviewing agents, you're interviewing agents that are high producing and that are selling multiple homes a month, because anyone who has experienced 2023 going into 2025 needs to have been through all of the cycles.
I had somebody contact me last week about one of my listings, and they asked me if they allow short-term rentals. This is a property near the lake. There are so many resources that will tell you if something allows short-term rentals. And if your client in particular is looking for something that possibly allows for that, that shouldn't even be on your list of property. You're wasting your time, you're wasting their time, and you're wasting my time. Making sure that the carpet stains are out, touch-up paint's done, simple things that can elevate. The very first thing when a buyer walks in the door is they're smelling the house. It can really elevate the first impression for a buyer. Okay, and we're back with the Houston Bound Podcast, your ultimate guide to moving to the heart of Texas. My name is Chase, and this is Mandy, and we are your co-host.
Hello, everybody.
We're back. Today we have some really fun stuff to go over, but I figured we could start by doing our quick 10 seconds, and then we'll dive right into it. What do you got?
Ooh, for my 10 seconds. So some of you do and some of you don't know, I am a developer, and I am currently opening a drive-through beer barn and daiquiri lounge. It is on the lake in Temple, Texas, and I am 6 weeks, guys. I'm 6 weeks from this wonderful, amazing project that I have been working 2.5 years on being open.
So exciting.
So exciting. It really is. I am thrilled. So
it's been such a long road.
It has been a long road. I rezoned the property. I went to all of the city council meetings. I had to sell why this was going to be a great development, how it was going to bring economy to the area, how it was going to bring community. It's been a road. It has been a road.
Oh, yeah. It's been a beautiful journey to watch. I can't wait to go and get my own daiquiri in person.
Oh, I know. It's going to be such a vibe,
I want to be one of your
Chase.
first customers.
I'm so excited. Yes. Okay, so that's really my 10 seconds today. I am knee deep in opening a bar because I'm a developer, and it's really important that as you explore real estate agents and you have dreams and goals, you have somebody who has also walked that path and done those things. I mean, I think that's critical to know.
For sure. Absolutely. I can't wait.
So
my 10 seconds is that we're going to be in a Christmas parade this weekend.
That's exciting too.
Anyone that knows me knows I'm super obsessed with Christmas. And so this is definitely one of the highlights of my year. We did it last year. So Inspired Realty & Co. is all going to do it together. We're all like dressing up as characters, and we're going to be.
What's your character?
Well, I'm not a character, but I have a really cute like shirt and outfit.
Nice.
It's going to be really fun. Mandy's going to be Bo Peep.
I am going to be Bo Peep. I got the staff, and my kids are going to be lambs.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, my kids are going to be, my two littles are going to be lambs.
That's going to be so cute.
And I'm really going to have to be like herding them because, you know,
yes,
they're animals.
Oh no. Don't talk about my girls that way. So it's in Montgomery. They do the Christmas parade every year. We get to be in it second year in a row, and it's going to be really fun. So be on the lookout for, we're going to have some videos from it if you're not in the area, but if you do want to stop by, it's Saturday morning. But yeah.
It's Toy Story themed.
Yes.
It's a Toy Story themed. And we have Lotso the bear. We have Jessie.
Forky's going to be there.
Forky. Oh,
is it Forky?
Slinky dog.
Slinky.
Slinky's going to be there.
Rex. What's his name? The dinosaur?
Yeah, Rex.
Yeah, Andy's. I mean, we got everybody.
The whole gang, guys.
Lineup.
The whole gang is going to be in this parade.
Super fun.
It is going to be a lot of fun.
So, yeah, be on the lookout for that. Let's dive into it.
Okay.
Today, we are talking about closing out 2024, the market, and what to expect in 2025, and all things. This is all information for sellers. So, a little bit about what I saw in the last year in the landscape of our real estate market here in Texas is we've had a big shift, big changes. It's been, overall increased days on market. We've had properties that would normally had flipped in 1 week and had an offer sometimes be on the market for longer than that, 30 days, 3 months. And just really needing all the extra attention and care. What have you seen?
I will definitely second that. The real estate landscape right now for me, I would say my first experience of of what I saw was in the fall of 2023. I think we've been in these cycles for the last year and a half, and right now going into 2025, we have the knowledge that, we're going to cover today of how to position sellers. But for me, when fall hit in 2023, I had a listing that I put active, and this is in a neighborhood that I had sold numerous homes in for years. This was in Imperial Oaks. It was a high performing neighborhood, great schools, no reason for this property to have any struggles. And when I listed that property, it was right at the turn of the market where the rates went up.
Okay.
And unfortunately, when you're listing a home, you're using historic data to get those numbers and my historic experience in that neighborhood. So I'm pricing the home based on that data and based on my experience, and this home did not sell. This was the one home that I took on at the turn of the market that I had to recalibrate with. And it's really interesting, and I bring that to you guys because when you're using that historic data in your marketing, now this new listing was what we would call the subject, right? It's the one that's the test subject for where the market is.
Right.
So we can kind of predict what's going to happen based on just trends. However, this market in 2023, what happened is we had so many external influences that were unpredictable. They were not something that we were able to easily adjust for. And so we had high interest rates. We went into an election year. We had the economy. We had three major external components going up against where we're putting these homes versus the historic data that got us to that number. So it was a real shift. And it's important that whenever you are interviewing agents, that you're interviewing agents that are high producing and that are selling multiple homes a month, because anyone who has experienced 2023 going into 2025 needs to have been through all of the cycles. They're pretty much 6-month cycles. We use 6 months to determine what the value is going to be, and any appraiser is going to do that as well. But when you have that shift, now you need a new 6 months to get you those new values to see where the market leveled out. And then you've got the public who don't have the knowledge unless they had their house listed. So you have two groups of sellers. You have the ones who just were the subject, and then you have the ones who are coming onto the market, and they have a different vision of what the market should be because they had the last 12 months in their mind, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I would say 2023 to 2024 was a very volatile, difficult market for sellers.
Definitely.
And
it was way less balanced than it had been right before that. I mean, we were seeing 20 offers on houses and then the bottom just fell out.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. 2020 was an insane market. 2020 to 2022 was the craziest
roller coaster of a year ever.
Multiple offers, easy sales. You don't even have to paint your house to get it ready. Everything was going. And so now you have this whole perception that that's what the market still is. And when it hit and it turned on a dime in my experience. And I'm a high producing agent, I multiple homes every month.
And it's really scary, especially to sellers that haven't seen these changes. But for an agent that's been around for a while, they've seen these trends. They've seen them go up. They've seen them go down. They know that it will shift again. So having the confidence in your agent is extremely important. Your agent needs to be the right agent for you and for the market area. And there's several things that you need to be asking them whenever you're interviewing them.
I saw a similar shift in 2014 to 2016. Do you remember that when the oil dip happened?
Yes.
The Woodlands was the most impacted by that. In 2014, you couldn't buy a house. Everything was multiple offer, everything. And then the oil dip happened. And in 2016, you couldn't sell a house. So it's really important that your agent has been through the cycles in these areas because they can help you. And which also, by the way, sellers, good news, 2016 came and gone and 2020 happened and people were selling again. So the market will turn again.
Right.
But it's important that your agent is recalibrating every 6 months, every 3 to 6 months to really understand it so that they can guide you.
Right. You definitely don't want an agent that's got their license and they're just coasting by If your
Oh God,
agent
now
is
is not
not
the time.
continuing to grow and push and evolve and learn the new techniques and learn the new trends and all the marketing needed to sell a house, then they might not be the agent for you.
Well, you will realize 6 months later that they weren't.
And then you'll be
And you'll be
in the hole for
frustrated.
overhold cost and months of a mortgage and all the things that go
I'm
with
glad
that.
you mentioned the holdover cost because a lot of sellers don't even know about that piece.
Right.
You know, you never get your taxes back. You're never getting your mortgage insurance back. You're never getting those utilities back. And so you may say, oh, I'm going to, hold my property for, 3 months or
We'll
whatever.
just wait.
We'll just wait. And you've spent $1,500 each month and now you're, $3,500 out. That's probably not the right math, but you guys know what I mean. $1,500 a month, you don't get it back.
Right. And it's something to think about. And at the end of the day, 6 months to have your house sit on the market whenever your agent's barely checking in, not doing the right marketing, not holding the open houses, not getting traffic in the door, there are steps to be taken. And I think it really starts too with market knowledge. I had somebody contact me last week about one of my listings, and they asked me if they allow short-term rentals. This is a property near the lake. And, normally I don't mind answering questions for anybody. Obviously, I'm the list agent. I know this information. I can provide it to you. There are so many resources that will tell you if something allows short-term rentals. And if your client in particular is looking for something that possibly allows for that, you shouldn't even be looking at those listings. That shouldn't even be on your list of properties you showed them. You're wasting your time, you're wasting their time, and you're wasting my time. Like, you're wasting the seller's time. I mean, there's no point you should even be looking at them. There are so many resources. And if you have an agent that's looking at an entire neighborhood that doesn't even meet your needs, maybe reevaluate who you've got showing your house.
Well, I mean, let's break that down a little bit. That's the state of Texas. They consider that geographical competence, right? That is what an agent should have regardless. And so what you're saying is, that exploratory phase that agent is in, that's not geographical competence. Right. And that's so important. And that really goes back into why we're having this episode. It's for sellers and clients to understand the 2025 real estate market is going to be a completely different experience for everybody wholly. Whether you're a buyer and you need to, have a competent agent, competent in contract knowledge, let's pause.
Dive into that.
Yeah, let's pause on that for a second.
It's a big one.
We just had a new set of contracts come out from the state of Texas, and these contracts have loopholes, guys.
Quite a few.
I will be the first agent to drive home contract knowledge all day long. But I will tell you, these loopholes are something that I am practicing daily now so that I can be sure that I understand and am able to advise my clients on these new loopholes. They are so critical to understand.
Absolutely.
They will cost thousands. And so if you are not up to date with these contracts, with these new loopholes, the buyers need to understand these. And this is something that really is going to elevate the real estate agent, and it's going to elevate the real estate game in 2025. I'm proud of the state of Texas for putting these in here because
protect our sellers and our buyers,
they're sneaky. They are sneaky. Like, you had better understand what you're signing your client up for with these new contracts.
And the good thing is a lot of agents aren't taking this continued education, but there are resources that most agents can look to. We take all of our classes directly from
real estate attorneys.
Yeah. So that we're getting the actual hard facts, the knowledge, and our entire brokerage is well versed in this stuff. So we take classes every month to continue to grow. And if your agent's not doing it, it's really, really critical.
I will tell you, I took 2 real estate attorney classes. They were one-to-ones, almost like more of like a mastermind feel. And I took 2 just on this one paragraph in the contract alone. That's how important it is. So,
absolutely.
Who you hire matters. But let's talk more to the seller.
Yes.
Because who you hire does matter, but you're going to hire the best. So now that you've hired the best and Inspired Realty & Co. has you under contract, what do sellers need to do and what do they need to know?
Good one.
Yep. Okay. I would definitely say right off the top of my head, be aware of timing. When we're in this market right now and in the 2025 market, Chase had mentioned earlier that we're seeing the average days on market extend. That is absolutely accurate. Time on market is going to be something that you're going to experience unless you're willing to adjust price, which most people, in my opinion, still have a very firm price in mind, that 2020 to 2022 price. And unfortunately, that 2020 to 2022 price may or may not be what you're going to see right now, depending on the condition of your home. That's one of the most critical. I mean, Chase, what do you do to prepare your sellers for condition-wise?
So I have an entire prep list. I start from the very beginning. I always do my listing appointments in person. I don't think you can properly do them not in person. I need to see the product.
I was trained by an appraiser. I need to see.
I need to see the product.
Yeah, I need to see what this is happening.
See what I'm selling.
I need to smell it.
Yes.
I need to feel the energy in it, to be 100% honest with everybody.
That's true.
It's so true.
I go through though, and I say before we get started, can you give me a tour? Let me look around your home. And then I in my head I already have a very long punch list that is generic, but I can pinpoint what all I'm going to need to go over with them. So to make your house very show ready, there are some key things: decluttering, deodorant, and making sure that the carpet stains are out, touch-up paint's done. Simple things that can elevate. The very first thing when a buyer walks in the door is they're smelling the house. Mm-hmm. First impression is everything. Curb appeal is everything. Landscaping out front. There's so many things that are low in cost that just take a little bit of work that can really elevate a first impression for a buyer.
A little sweat equity goes a long way. I mean, it goes so far as to it could make you an extra $20,000. Or, to be quite honest with you, the conversation isn't necessarily that anymore. It can take you far enough to get you sold in the 2025 market. It used to be, it will get you extra, here's your extra 20 because you're multiple offer. Right now it's, hey, this is actually going to get you to market where you actually are competitive enough to be able to move forward in this market.
Oh yeah. I'm pretty stern with my sellers. I say, I need you to do this so that I can sell this home. Mm-hmm. I need this done. This is your to-do list so that we as a team, because I like to work with my sellers. Like, we are a team. We're doing this together.
I'm locking arms. I'm like, all right, you and me, let's go.
We've got this. We've got a mission and we're going to achieve it together. And I need you to do X, Y, and Z for us to get your property up to snuff to put it on the market.
You had mentioned smell and cleanliness, and I actually have that written down as a bullet because I think it is that important to pause and talk about. Smell. Neutral smells, chocolate chip cookie smells, all approved. Heavy deodorizer, not approved.
Not approved.
Lots of floral fragrance, not approved.
First thing I think is, what are they covering up?
What are they hiding?
What are they hiding?
Why are there so many air fresheners?
Right. What's the deal here?
Yeah.
So that's a big one. So you don't want to smell too strong, and you don't want to smell like nothing, and you don't want any bad pet odor. And sometimes you can't, and it's something you can't tell sometimes. Well, you could tell, you might not be able to tell, but someone that with no pets at all can tell that little smell of pet. Mm-hmm. That's what we're here for, to be your neutralizer, to let you know.
Yeah, and those are tough conversations to have with someone because their home is their home. I mean, there's a intrinsic value to that. And so when you go into someone's home, there's a delicate conversation of the smell, the pets, the paint, and for your agent to be able to dance that dance and still keep you emotionally engaged in that process, because we will talk about that in a bit.
Right.
Maintaining the client's emotions through 2025 is also going to be a critical piece.
It's a big part of our job.
It's a large.
We're here for emotionally and contractually.
But I love it because it's actually what makes me so.
That's why I love the job, working with people.
Yeah, I have the deepest relationships with my clients, and it is because of that. Whenever the home is prepped, it's ready, it's looking good, we're ready for market. I think the biggest piece that a seller needs to understand right now in the 2025 landscape is to have patience. And to truly understand that those days of multiple offers, It's not that they're gone. I don't want to put that out there.
No.
They're not gone, because I've actually had a property be listed for, over 75 days, and then I get multiple offers on it. And while
Right.
no, it's not $30,000 over asking, it is a competitive offer that gives the seller an advantage. But that's not on every property. So having patience is super key. And talk to me about like the conversations you're having with your sellers on that patience piece.
So I definitely, from the very beginning, have a very realistic conversation about expectations of each other. And I communicate with them about how things are taking a little bit longer. It's not the same as when they purchase their home, possibly, depending on when they purchase their home. I ask that, throughout the entire process, that we both keep open lines of communication. If they are ever feeling a certain way, let's discuss it. This is why I do weekly check-ins, so that they don't feel neglected. Because it can feel, if you go, quite a few weeks on the market and you haven't seen much traffic or anything like that, checking in and on your client super important. But I always make sure that they know it's not necessarily about getting an offer the first weekend. It's about being patient enough to make it to where you find the right offer that works for you, because you really don't want to necessarily take the first one and just out of fear. Be patient, wait for the right one, do what's right for your family, for yourself, and wait it out. Because I have seen, I've seen people that have had their property on the market for 6 months with another agent. They hire me, and then within the next month of it being on the market with me, after my advanced marketing plan, we've got the right buyer. And then we've got 2 offers.
Right.
And it works for them.
Yeah.
It's the right move because we came at it with the right strategy.
Well, I think that's great, because I wrote down goals. I wrote down emotion, goals, and expectations. And I think you really kind of nailed all of that in one with what you just said. You set the expectation for your client of what they can expect to achieve their goals.
Right.
And then through that, you're able to help them manage their emotions, because this is when you're not selling in that first weekend. And that was kind of the expectation, because you weren't a part of the 2023 turn. You were just only aware of the 2020, 2022 boom of a market. And now you may or may not know that there's high interest rates, right? Like, you're not super abreast with what's happening. Being able to manage the emotions through the process is so critical, and it helps you get to your goals. I think that was beautiful, Chase. Way to go.
Thanks.
Look at you. You're like already just all over this.
Thanks. I try. Let's talk about how to put our best foot forward. So let's talk about
That's all I know how to do. What do you mean?
right? The best advanced marketing plan and what it looks like in 2025. What do you do that's different for your clients? How do you stand out as a marketing expert?
Yeah, it's funny. So I come across a lot of new agents. And when I say new agents, I mean somebody who's 2 years or younger, or somebody who doesn't have, maybe sold 2 or 3 homes in their entire career. Every single listing gets the same marketing advantages, video, because we sell lifestyle, especially with the podcast outreach. We know how important it is for out-of-state buyers to be able to experience the area. And that's the same with Houstonians. We may have some Houstonians who want a lake house. We may have some Houstonians who want a beach house. And it's so important, they're in their city. And if you're a Houstonian, you'll know you're in the loop. And so those who are in the loop are not going to go out and really understand the landscape and the market of those areas, but it's our job too. And so when I'm selling a property, I make sure that it is a lifestyle that buyer understands, and then the home, because that's the key, right? If I can get them to love the area, then they will love my home.
Right. It goes so much further. Like, I like that you touched on video. So touring a house with a video is amazing. Great. You love the space. Cool. But understanding, I've had sellers that don't even know their amenities and they own a house in there.
So true.
So whenever we're gonna get awesome video. We're gonna get awesome pictures. We're gonna get awesome drone shots. Like, that's a given. And then we're gonna get lifestyle, because I want the community to be showcased. So any buyer that's questioning what that neighborhood has to offer, whether they are dog lovers and they want to park, whether they're avid golfers, or they have they want to be able to enjoy a resort style pool, community events. All that stuff is essential to highlight in order to get the most buyers interested in your listing. And so that's why it's super important. I always hire videographers to showcase those things. And this,
I think those are just, honestly, in my opinion, those are basics.
Yeah, at this point.
If your agent is not doing that, that's a bare minimum basic.
For sure. The other thing that I like to do on my listing is the 3D tours.
Oh, I love those.
So my team puts together a 3D tour of the home. And the reason being is because there's so many out-of-state buyers. Mm-hmm. I don't want people to say, oh, well, I'll get on a plane and I'll look when I can in a couple of weeks, whenever I can go look at the properties in Texas because we're moving there. I want them to be able to go online and feel like they're touring that house. Mm-hmm. And then they know that they love it. They're booking the flight. They're going to look at it right now.
They're getting in that home on that 3D tour, and they're getting in front of that fireplace, and they're looking at their husband going, honey, that house in Texas has a beautiful stone fireplace that I want to hang our stockings in this Christmas.
You want them to visualize, and if they can't be there physically, the 3D tours are the next step to getting them there.
And I think the greatest thing about our lifestyle videos is it helps that buyer get emotionally connected to that house.
Yes.
I really think that's why we do so well with ours.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The other thing I want to touch on is having a really, really well-oiled machine. You really want a top-notch website to where it's being sent out constantly to buyers. Mm-hmm. You want one that's getting a lot of traffic. You want one that has proper branding, one that's going to showcase and feature your listing on it. It's extremely important. One that works with the MLS. There's some websites that don't work with it. It's important that you're pulling data, current data from the MLS, so that they're driving more people to your website. So that one's a big one for me.
So I'll elaborate on the website a little. It does, so it syndicates from HAR, but it also syndicates out to 800 other websites. We're talking about our property websites that we build for our listings. It also has lead capture. So if there is a buyer who's scrolling on your listing, it will prompt them to put their information in. We also have Boost, which is a product that whenever we list a property, it boosts out, it creates an ad and it boosts out to Instagram and to Facebook, and it geo-tags the buyers who are looking in that area. So we have a lot of back-end analytics to make sure that we are syndicating out and pushing and advertising those listings to the best possible ability for today's market.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I want to talk about subject to offers really quickly.
Let's do that.
So are you seeing a lot of subject to offers, Mandy?
I think it's so cool that you bring that up because there's so much creativity that's happening in the 2024 market. And I would definitely say this is half of the second half of 2024. Mm-hmm. And now into 2025, sellers are going to see subject to.
It's happening a lot.
It's happening a lot. I think I actually had a subject to come through this morning on I
had two yesterday.
You did?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so let's break down what is subject to. A subject to offer is basically when an investor is putting an offer onto a property, they're never, in my opinion, or what I've been seeing, a really good offer. They're always
usually
much lower. You got to think, when you have an investor, they want to pay 70 cents on the dollar. So if a house is worth $1, they want to pay 70 cents of that. So any subject to offers, you can kind of anticipate that they're going to be about that ratio. Well, what happens is the investor comes in and they pay all the fees, they purchase it for a specific price. Your seller walks away with cash, but your seller still has the mortgage. And this subject to investor is now renting the property out to cover his fees.
Essentially renting, yeah.
I mean, they can do whatever they want, but they're essentially renting it out, covering their fees. And if they default, that property goes back to, or is now, it's still liened to that seller. So they are risky.
Very risky. I'm not 100% against subject to, but I'm not against them, but I'm always going to articulate what they are putting at risk. Mm-hmm. The sellers are putting at risk by
And
choosing this offer.
Back to the seller's goals. Was your goal to have a full cash out, release the property, open up your line of credit, or was your goal to get out from underneath it?
Right. And sometimes it can work. But the important thing is, does it work for your client? Does it work for your seller?
And do they understand all of the intricacies of it? That is so key. You'll see these subject twos come through. They're on an LOI, which is a letter of intent. They're sending out hundreds a day. So for me, they're hard to take super seriously because you are sending out so many a day, and you're just punching in numbers to the terms, right?
And there's a lot of possible risk with it. And so I always make sure to advise them of all the possible risk, let them know if it could work for them. Let's talk about it. If not, I advise against.
In my professional opinion, I think a seller who's looking for a traditional sale, which they want to release the property, they don't want it in their credit anymore, a subject to is not an option that would be viable for them. However, you may have a person who has multiple properties. They want to liquidate an asset. They don't necessarily have to sell it, but they choose to sell it. And those subject twos would be an excellent option for those.
And it can work.
Those sellers who just want to liquidate and move forward in a way. And if it were to come back to them, they'd be fine to handle it.
Exactly.
But most of our sellers are not in that position.
Right. Most of them they can't have their debt to income ratio rise that much with the new home loan. They want to get out from underneath the current one and move forward. So majority of the time with the normal residential seller, it doesn't work, but there are ways that it could work.
But it is also important that you understand that there are those options, and your agent can bring you those options and can have those conversations with you and can cover that in your goal setting appointment.
Totally. I want to end with one big piece of advice.
Oh, I love advice.
I'll close it with some advice.
Okay.
So my advice to sellers in the 2025 real estate market is to allow for creative offers. So there are lots of ways to be creative whenever submitting an offer. I will give you a few tips right here, and we can discuss it more when we talk about selling your house. But being flexible on your closing date.
Why? Why do we need to be flexible? Why do you see that?
A lot of people are moving from out of state. They've got a whole nother side of the transaction where they're selling their home, and
they're in the same market too, guys.
Right. They are navigating this storm as well, and they have a whole nother side that they're dealing with. So being flexible on that. Also working with possible leasebacks. So that in the same breath.
I'm seeing a lot of leasebacks.
Leasebacks because it helps them. It helps them get into their new house and shift to that phase while also closing out the last one.
Yeah, so many people are in that stepping stage and needing that leaseback. And I'm seeing leasebacks that used to be 3 days or something to that nature end up being 2 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
Offering that for free. It alleviates a lot of the stress. There's a lot of stress that comes with buying a house, buying your first house, moving costs, all the things. If you're going to help play ball with these buyers and make it a little easier on them, you're more likely to get an executed contract. The other thing is making sure that you consider doing seller contributions. So with the price of housing being higher and the interest rates being higher right now, there's a lot of people that are in a whole entire different range budget-wise. And so if you can lower their cash to close by helping with that seller contribution and making up for it, you'll be doing yourself a service and the buyer service to get this whole thing done. At the end of the day, we all have the same goal. You want to sell your house. They want to move on and buy their new home. Us agents want to just properly serve you guys, and working with each other is the best possible advice I can give you.
I want to close out with the great news for 2025 is that they are predicting rates to begin to cool off, and they are predicting the spring 2025 market to really start to rebound. And I'm just so excited to bring that news to y'all because really, truly, for the last 2 years, or at least in my experience, a year and a half, it has been the Wild West. It's been a ride. I mean, I thought 2014 to 2016 was tough. no. 2023 to 2025 was definitely way harder. But the cool and amazing thing is that we're getting back, and I've seen it. I've seen it rebound. I've been through this. I've been doing this over 20 years, and I know for a fact that 2025 is going to be an amazing year for our sellers, because now we have the knowledge. We've recalibrated from the last year and a half, and we have the knowledge to help position you. But then on top of that, with rates cooling, you're going to see all those buyers start coming back out and just picking back up. And I'm so excited.
It's really fun. You're going to see a lot of confident buyers coming back.
Mm-hmm.
People that said, we're just going to wait. We're just going to wait to buy. We're going to wait till after election. We're going to wait till this economy evens out. We're going to wait until the kids are out of school. We're going to wait. And they're all going to get that confidence back, and they're going to be back in the market, and we're going to properly market your house and get it sold. And there is hope.
There's total hope. Yeah. Total hope. Total hope. I'm so excited. 2025 is going to be great. I'm actually already celebrating 2025.
I know. I've been feeling really great about it.
Me too.
I'm super excited.
Yeah, I started on December 1st. I said, you know what? We're not doing January 1. We're bringing 2025 here and now, and let's hit it hard.
Totally. Well, this was super fun. I feel like I hope that you guys got a ton of information out of this one. We definitely want to make this all catered towards the seller and give you as much information and knowledge as we could during this longer episode.
And I hope that we spurred some questions for you. I hope that this really got your mind going and wanted you to reach out so that you could answer those questions and dig in deeper to know more about a specific thing that we covered today.
Absolutely. If you do have questions, go ahead and comment them. You can always message myself or Mandy. And if you ever want to talk about something different, we love inspiration.
Oh my gosh, we love y'all's feedback.
Give us ideas, give us feedback.
We really do read everything that you guys write us.
Yes, we do. We cherish it.
It's so fun. And we're so grateful for the support that you give us as well.
Absolutely. Well, we hope everyone has a beautiful rest of their 2024 and a happy new year. And we will talk to you guys soon.
Okay, guys. See you in 2025.
Bye.